He just recently signed a 4-year, $212 million contract with the 76ers. Had a super solid year, averaging 22.6 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steal, zero point 0.5 blocks. Shot the ball well from the field, 47%, and then shot extremely well from three on 41%. And then also that percentage from three was on nearly 8 attempts a game, which I think is super impressive for Paul George. So what are your thoughts on him being in Philly?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good sign. I think this makes Philadelphia really good in the East, and it's just a matter if they can stay healthy because Joel Embiid doesn't really stay healthy towards the end of the year, and then Paul George sometimes doesn't. But I think they're cooking up a good roster, and I think they'll be ready to compete next year for maybe an East title.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was Maxi, George, and Embiid combined for 83.6 points. If you consider all of their averages last year. So I mean, you're getting 84 points from three guys, which I think is super impressive. Like you said, Paul George is one of the best two-way players in the NBA. And yes, he's 34, but he's still playing at such a high level. And one thing I want to point out is that he was in the 93rd percentile in the NBA in spot up shots. So that means when someone's driving and they kick to Paul George, he was one of the best spot up shooters in the league. And I think playing with Maxi, who can really get to the rim, and I think is going to probably run the point, I think he's going to be able to hit Paul George a lot. And then obviously with Embiid down low, he brings a ton of attention to himself. So having Paul George, I think being not necessarily in like the superstar role, but as like a second or third option, I think is great for him. And then Philly also bringing in Oubre and Eric Gordon. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I really liked them re-signing Kelly Oubre. I think they got him pretty cheap last year, but I think they also got him pretty cheap again on his new contract. And then they also got Eric Gordon, Andre Drummond back. I think they'll be pretty good next year.